Hello there, guys, and welcome to PSQ for Sport. We all hope you're having a very blessed day today, and this video finds you safe and sound. For those new to the channel, we answer common questions and, most importantly, your questions, all about sports. So tune in every day to our podcast type videos. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That really helps us. Now that's out of the way, let's jump into the video. All right, so today, guys, it's just me, just Dr. Reegs today. So obviously today is Tuesday roundups, and we're just going to be rounding up what's happened this past week from last Tuesday to this Tuesday. But we're just going to do like the most important thing. So, Premier League, like what's the biggest sort of results? What's happened during the week? So, for example, now I'm going to start talking about the Champions League draw and the Europa League draw, and we're going to have a little bit about Arsenal and the Fantasy Premier League. So, right now, we're going to talk about the UEFA Champions League draw. So I'm going to ask you guys in the comment sections below just to tell me what you think about the Champions League draw that's happened this past week. So for me, I've been looking at all the games. So we got Mönchengladbach against Manchester City. We've got Lazio against Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid versus Chelsea, Red Bull Leipzig versus Liverpool, FC Porto against Juventus, Barcelona against Paris Saint-Germain, Sevilla against Borussia Dortmund, Atalanta, and Real Madrid. So obviously, when you hear these games, you most importantly you hear Bayern Munich, Lazio, you hear Chelsea, Atletico, you have Leipzig, Liverpool, you hear Barcelona, PSG. To be honest, those are the biggest games, and even Atalanta and Real Madrid. People think that might be the clearest game. Atalanta and Real Madrid, it might be the clearest game, but I don't think it will be. I think Real Madrid might not turn up for the first leg, especially Atalanta's home, and their home form is getting better as you go on. It was good, it is good, but it is definitely getting better. You see them developing into a better team. Atletico Madrid against Chelsea. Well, oh, that's not a really good game, is it? Seeing when this happened, and I was just thinking, wow. So we get Bayern Munich, and now we get Atletico Madrid. Great, amazing. I think Chelsea still have a chance. I think they have a good chance, but Atletico Madrid definitely have one of the best defenses in Europe, in my opinion. They're really hard to break. They're in amazing form currently. We're not. Well, we are, but we're not at the same time. If you get what I'm saying, we are third in the league. We're not actually. We're fifth in the league, and we've just lost to Everton. You know, could be something different after the Christmas break because all of the European games come back in February. I think February, or it might be January actually. No, I think it's February. But yeah. So that game could go either way. To be honest, I think most people will lean towards the side of Atletico. Obviously, I'm going to have to support my team, Chelsea, and Professor T can't support his team because they're in the Europa League. But next one is Leipzig and Liverpool. Well, that's just a great game, isn't it? Just overall, that's a great game. I think Leipzig, their structure and the way that um, they can structure their game against bigger teams. I think they might put quite a lot of pressure on Liverpool. It might be, it might end 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. It might be one of those type of score lines. I don't see a 0-0 happening. I don't see. I see a 3-3, but at the same time, I don't. I don't see any of them drawing. I see one team coming out on top. You saw Leipzig when they get tired, and Liverpool start putting on players like Jota if he doesn't start. Jota. You see players like um, Curtis Jones even. I mean, he's quite a scary player for his age. So when they start putting on the quick players, Leipzig don't really have that sort of firepower. But I still think they could win the game. If they win the first half, they might win the game. They just need to score 3 or 4 goals, and Liverpool might be out of it because this is not like the Barcelona game. It won't be, because they could, Leipzig will score 6 goals or 4 goals or whatever in the first leg, beat Liverpool 4-0, 5-0, 4-3, like 5-3. Then in the second leg, Liverpool home, which is, Anfield is a very gracious place, but I still think Leipzig will just park the bus. They don't need to do anything else. They might suck up all the pressure and then go on the counter and try and score. Angelino is a great player. He's very good on counter attacks. I mean, the goal against Man United, just looking for the back post. I mean, if Liverpool defend like how they defended against Fulham, it might be another 6-0, or like they might have to crawl back from 4-0 again. Moving on, Porto Juventus. Well, it is a good game. I don't think Porto will win it, but I still think they'll do quite well. They might score 1 or 2 goals, but you have to say Juventus are winning this. They have to. If they don't, then what's the point in them being with Ronaldo? What's the point in them having some of the best players in the world? To be honest, well, what's the point? So we move on to Barcelona and PSG. Well, Barcelona's out of form right now. Doesn't really mean that they're going to be rubbish. Doesn't mean they're going to lose to PSG. Doesn't mean anything, to be honest. We all know Barcelona can have their rough patches and still win games. Messi could perform. PSG can bottle it. We all know that. They did against Man United in the first game. But I see that being a good game. I don't really have a prediction for that. That could go either way. I'm going to say PSG win this first leg. I think it'll be PSG 2, Barcelona 1. It's going to be at the Camp Nou, so Barcelona kind of has to win this game. Ronald Koeman doesn't really care because he knows he's getting sacked in the summer, so it's not really a big deal for him. We move on to Sevilla and Borussia Dortmund. So, with Sevilla, I don't think they want to be in the Champions League. They don't want to be it. Because I looked at this quote from the HITC community. I think it was Michael, the Irish guy. Many of you may know him as. He was talking about how every year Sevilla is not in the Europa League is every year that they don't win it, or every year that Sevilla go through in the Champions League is every year that they don't win the Europa League. And I agree with him there. I have to agree with him. They don't look like they want to be in it. They don't. And Dortmund, I mean, they're a good team, but they've just been looking like they've been getting worse now. They sacked their manager a couple of days ago. That's one of the topics today as well. I'm gonna go with Sevilla 2, Dortmund 0. Atalanta and Real Madrid. Well, not really a lot I can say about this one. I kind of already spoke about it. It might be another Zidane miracle. You never know. Zidane does kind of tend to pull off these miracles like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 3. Maybe the other way around. Atalanta 3, Real Madrid 2. That's what I'm going to say. I think that game's going to be a very good game. Mönchengladbach and Manchester City. Well, it's going to be a very tough game for City and for Mönchengladbach at the same time. If Marcus Thuram can actually perform well in this game, I think Mönchengladbach have a chance. They can't bottle it. They can't perform like how they did against Real Madrid. They just got completely demolished by Benzema. And I think City have better players than Benzema. Benzema's not even in form right now. He's old. It's not a bad thing because, Zane's old, but getting destroyed by Karim Benzema is not really a good thing. You can't really say, yeah, at least it was Real Madrid, because it's not Real Madrid, is it? It's not. They're performing like Cadiz. Imagine Cadiz in the Champions League. That's Real Madrid now. You got Manchester City. So I think if City can perform well in this game, I think they will win 3-0. If not, I'm going to say 3-0 to Mönchengladbach. And I don't want to make it seem like Manchester City are rubbish or whatever, But Mönchengladbach, if you don't perform against them, they will perform against you. They're kind of like that. Lazio, Bayern Munich. So I'm going to say there's not really a lot I can talk about this game. Only the fact that Immobile will probably score a goal in both legs. If Bayern don't turn up, Lazio will win. But Bayern are the best team in the world. Not Europe, not Germany, the world. They are the best team in the world right now. So I'd say Bayern Munich 3, Lazio 1. Immobile, he's done really well. 36 goals last season. I think he was the European Golden Boot winner over Lewandowski. So it's going to be a trade of goals, to be honest. Whether that be Lazio winning 3-1 or Bayern Munich winning 3-1. I can't see Bayern Munich losing this game. Even if they do, they welcome Lazio to the Allianz Arena, yeah. In the second leg, so that could go either way. So tell me in the comment section below what you think about these games coming up soon. Good shouts will be the Atletico Madrid Chelsea game, Leipzig Liverpool, Barcelona PSG, Atalanta Real Madrid, and the Mönchengladbach Man City game. So we move on to the Europa League now. I mean, I don't really want to talk about score predictions. I'll just tell you who's in it and what I think about this. So Real Sociedad and Manchester United, Wolfsburg and Tottenham, Olympiacos PSV, Slavia Prague and Leicester, Young Boys, FC Young Boys and Bayer Leverkusen, Crvena Zvezda, I think I pronounced that right. I think I did. And AC Milan, Dynamo Kiev and Club Brugge, Braga and Roma, Krasnodar and Dinamo Zagreb, Lille and Ajax, a very good game, Benfica and Arsenal, Molde and Hoffenheim, Tel Aviv and Shakhtar Donetsk, Antwerp and Rangers, Granada and Napoli, and lastly but not least, RB Salzburg and Villarreal. Well, you see quite a few teams that shouldn't be in the Europa League that are in the Europa League. For example, Lille's top of their league. They shouldn't be in the Europa League. They're top of Liga, which is a very crazy thing when you think about Lille. You couldn't even get, I think, 2 points last year out of the Champions League draw. But they should be winning this game against Ajax. Ajax do not look like the same team anymore. Lost quite a few key players. I still think they'll give them a game, but I think Lille will go through. Other big games will be Manchester United, Real Sociedad. That is a very, very massive game. Real Sociedad are top of the La Liga. A very informed team. Man United are not an informed team, especially in Europe. I'm going to have to say Sociedad will win this game. I think they'll win overall. I think Man United will be knocked out. And I think that's a good thing for Man United. Maybe they'll see some sense and start sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But we move on to Olympiacos and PSV. Now, PSV are a team that are on the rise. They are on the rise. Olympiacos are a good team, but they're not the same team that they were. PSV are on the rise. Marlon is looking like an absolute peach of a striker. He's not really a striker, is he? He's Timo Werner. He's Timo Werner, but Dutch. That is Marlon for you. Next game that I think is going to be very, very good is Benfica and Arsenal. That looks like an amazing game. I think if Arsenal lose this game, Arteta will be sacked. I thought he was going to be sacked after losing 1-0 to Burnley, but Benfica, not really a bad side. I'm not going to say they're rubbish. They could put some pressure on most teams, but I think Arsenal with their team should be able to beat them. Judging by form, Benfica don't really look like they're going for any sort of rough patches. They are, in their league, they are second. So yes, definitely not. I mean, in the last 5 games, they've won 3 and lost 2, which isn't bad. They've only lost 2 games this season. They've won 7. They've scored 21 goals, which is amazing. And 21 goals in 9 games, that's great. They've only conceded 11, which isn't that bad. Compared to Arsenal, who've had a poor start to the season. Absolutely terrible. They are in a relegation scrap. Just in case anybody wanted to know, they are in a relegation scrap. But Europa League, Arsenal do look like a different team. But they haven't been versing any hard teams. But they do look like a different team. They do look like they could put some pressure on Benfica if they perform. If Arteta doesn't use the crossing, what is it? Crossing tactic. If he stops using that, I think Arsenal will win. So compared to Benfica, Arsenal have won 4 games, lost 7, and drawn 1 in 12 games, which is terrible. They've scored 10 goals, which is poor, and they've conceded 15. So they are not a good team right now. Not a good team. Last 5 games, they have lost 4 and drawn once. Now, for me, for if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't really be happy with that. That is poor. Poor from Arteta, poor from the players. Next game I'd give a shout to is RB Salzburg and Villarreal. Looks like a very, very good game. 2 teams who really do have a lot of good players amongst them. Villarreal with Chukwueze, who looks like a really, really good player. I think he was linked to Chelsea quite a few. Was it last transfer window? We were thinking about getting him. They are 4th in the league, La Liga, behind Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and obviously Real Sociedad. They have they've played 13 times. They've won 5, drawn 7, and lost 1. So that is a very good record, apart from the many draws that they've had. They've scored 16 and conceded 12, which is very, very good. Salzburg. I mean, Salzburg have quite a few good players, like Sabozla. Sorry, I'm gonna have to say this again. Sabozlai. Yeah, I think I said it right. They have Suchik as well. Suchik is very good. Kamara is a very, 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 very talented player. Diarra, very, very good as well. They are looking like a very changed team in that respect. So, I mean, judging by their run of form in the last, let's say, 5 games, they beat LAS 3-1. There's many LAS, aren't there? They beat Flyerama Admira. They lost to Alarm Admira 1-0, which is poor. They beat Polton 8-2, which is very good. You know, they've come from the Champions League as well after quite a few heavy losses, but they didn't do that bad. So they've won 8-2. Salzburg, they lost to SK Sturm Graz 3-1 as well. They drew with Rapid Wien, and they beat Wattens 5-0. So even looking at their European form, after beating, who did they beat? But they haven't really beat. They've only won 1 game, and that was against Lokomotiv Moscow. So they shouldn't really be in this sort of Europa League. They should be at the bottom of the table. That Lokomotiv Moscow shouldn't be at the bottom of the table. They've only lost 1 game, I think. Only lost 1 game. I mean, with RB Salzburg's losses, it's been losses to Atletico Madrid 3-2, Bayern Munich 6-2. That is, it's not poor, but it's not good at the same time. They lost 3-1 to Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich had a red card. I think I remember this game where Mark Roca got sent off. They lost 2-0 to Atletico Madrid, and they beat Lokomotiv Moscow 3-1. That was their only win. So tell me, guys, in the comment section below, what games are you looking forward to in the Europa League? And I'm not going to say the Europa League is a rubbish league or it's a farmers cup. It's not, because you've got many good teams. When you think about Farmers Cup, you're thinking just all of the rubbish teams playing some of the good teams. But these are actually very, very good sides playing other good sides. So as the games I shouted out, those are the games that I think you guys should have a look at and watch. They're worth watching. So we move on to what else has happened. So We're going to talk about Arsenal. Arsenal Football Club. They're in quite a predicament this season. So we'll talk about their last 5 games. That's been. Oh, this is the Premier League, by the way. Last 5 games of the Premier League. We're not talking about Europa League because they had quite a few easy teams. They should win the game, and they did, which is good. So Arsenal's last 5 games have been Burnley, Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds, and Aston Villa. So they've won none, they've drawn 1, and they've lost 4. That is absolutely terrible. Terrible form, just terrible from the players as it is. So they lost to Burnley 1-0 after a Xhaka red card. If you want to hear me and Professor T talking about that, we spoke about that yesterday. So just watch EP.3, episode 2, that came out yesterday. Tottenham, they lost in the North London derby. I remember that. Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, masterclass. Jose Mourinho, tactical masterclass. Arsenal couldn't break the line. Arsenal couldn't do many things. Bellerin performing absolutely terribly. The 2-1 loss to Wolves, which saw a very, very nasty injury to Raul Jimenez, who I hope is recovering well. Get well soon, Raul, if you're watching this. I don't think he is, but say if he does one day, get well soon. We will hope the best for you. So they lost that game with Podence and Neto scoring, Gabriel obviously scoring a nice header, but they were poor that game as well, especially after losing David Luiz, because they had the head clash, David Luiz and Raul Jimenez. Leeds and Arsenal, where Arsenal suffered another red card. Well, that was the first incident where Pepe got sent off. That ended 0-0. Leeds with most of the chances. I mean, thinking about the stats now off the top of my head, I think Leeds had around about 26, 25 shots, and Arsenal only having 10. That's just complete domination. Leeds had around about like 70% possession, which is just poor on Arsenal's side. That is absolutely terrible. And if that's Mikel Arteta playing counter-attacking football, that's even worse. That's even worse because they didn't even get a goal. And they're playing Leeds United, which is a lower side. When you think about Arsenal, they are a lower side, which they should have won. Aston Villa against Arsenal. I mean, there wasn't. I'd say there was a lot wrong, but at the same time, there wasn't. They're playing an informed Aston Villa side, who at that time were just going off the rails, to be honest. They did come off the back of 2 losses against Leeds and Southampton. Southampton being 4-3, which was a very, very good game. So I advise you to, if you haven't seen it, watch it again. Not again, watch it. Have a watch of it. They lost 3-0 to Leeds, which isn't very good. But before that, they came off a 7-2 win against the Liverpool. Now, if you can say whatever you want, you can say they weren't in form against when they played Arsenal, or they was in form. Who cares? Who cares? They've come off a 7-2 win against Liverpool. That's never rubbing off. That's never rubbing off. Imagine Burnley beating, I don't know, Chelsea 8-0. Burnley will never be the same team again. Burnley will never be the same team again. They would attack more because they trust their attackers now. That would boost their confidence to another level. So I'm not going to say Aston Villa were rubbish. I'm saying they still have the same form. Ollie Watkins was just impeccable that game. Saka own goal wasn't the best game for Bukayo Saka. I mean, Saka hasn't really done that good this season, to be honest. He hasn't looked the same player. He just keeps missing loads of chances, missing quite a few. And you're thinking, what's going on with Saka? There must be something behind the scenes that's happening. Arteta must have lost the dressing room or something like that. But we move on. So that is what's happened this week. Give me your opinions on what's happened in the comment section below. We'll try and answer all of them. If there's lots, if there's not, we'll answer your questions or your theories or answers about Arsenal, the Champions League group, the Europa League group, anything, to be honest. Anything that we missed out in the group, just tell us. Anything and everything. So now we're moving on to the Fantasy Premier League. So guys, write down your Fantasy Premier League team if you're doing it in the comment section below. Compare it to my team. I don't think my team's doing very, very well. My overall points is 529, which isn't great. Let me tell you that now. I trusted the wrong players. But anyway, my team for this match day, which is happening now, Chelsea against Wolves, which at the minute stands 0-0. If you want me to read the teams afterwards, I shall. So Emi Martinez, I've got in goal because they're playing Burnley and Burnley's home. Oh no, they're playing Burnley at home. Sorry, not Burnley's home. They're playing Burnley at home. So I'm gonna have Martinez in there because he's just an amazing goalkeeper. If you need a goalkeeper to get points, even after losing, you put Martinez in. No matter what the game, you just keep him in until I'll get onto the rest. I've got Kurt Zuma in defense with James Justin, Tyrone Mings, and Vestergaard. So I put Kurt Zuma in because I still trust the Chelsea players. I think they're going to come out a different team today. I still trust, and obviously I support Chelsea as well. I've got to put some Chelsea players in there, but I trust them. I put James Justin in because, you know, very, very good young talent who I think will do very well against Everton. It's a very good game, and I think James Justin will do very well. Tyra Mings, same reason as Emi Martinez. He's going to get a clean sheet against Burnley because Aston Villa is not Arsenal. They will not lose against Burnley. He's only scored 5 goals this season. The last one didn't count because it was Aubameyang who ended his goal drought by scoring a goal. So I put Vestergaard in because I mean they're playing Arsenal. I trust the Southampton defense. Whether they concede or not, I think Vestergaard will put in a good shift, like he always does. I put in Christian Pulisic because watching the Lampard's press conference, he was talking very highly of Pulisic, saying, yeah, it was just a little knock. He's training now. He's doing well in training and everything. So I'm putting him in. Well, you got to put in Son. I put in Son, and so I put Son in my team because I mean he's gonna do the best, isn't he? It's Son. He's how many goals does he have? He's had quite a few goals. I think he's on 12 now. He's definitely on double figures. Definitely. Just keep scoring and scoring, and they're playing Liverpool. I think it's going to be a Jose Mourinho masterclass again. He's going to soak up all the pressure, go on the counter. Kane, Son, Reguilon, Ndombele, and Højbjerg. In fact, Højbjerg's going to stay back. It's going to be Ndombele, Kane, Son, Reguilon. Even Aurier will push up sometimes. Sometimes he stays behind. Sometimes he goes back. But their counter-attacks are lightning fast, and it's either Son gets an assist or Son gets a goal every game. So we move on to the next one. James Ward-Prowse. He's playing Arsenal as well. He plays for Southampton, if you don't know. He is an exquisite free kick taker. Amazing at free kicks. Whether that's setting up a goal or scoring the goal, he's great. I put him in because he deserves to be in the team, and he does get points. Che Adams, I put him in as well because, you know, Che Adams is like Chris Wood. It's random. He just gets random goals out of nowhere, and I trust that. I trust he gets like 3, 4, 5 points a game, and that's good if you don't know who to actually put in. You just put in Che Adams. Patrick Bamford, I put in there as well because he looks like a very good striker. They're playing Newcastle at home, Leeds. Looks like a very good game, and I think Bamford will score a goal against Newcastle because Newcastle's defense isn't very, very good. But yeah, and obviously I put in Timo Werner. I'm still deciding whether to keep Timo Werner in my team or just to leave him on the bench. like I've done with some of the other players I'm about to tell you about. I'm really struggling to keep my patience with Timo Werner, just as the other guy that I'm going to talk about in a second. He does get points. He either gets a goal and an assist, just like Son, but Son does it so consistently, and Timo Werner doesn't. Sometimes he just goes on these droughts now. Timo Werner, I'm scared, but I've got to keep him in because he's Chelsea. He's very good, but he's not at the same time. At the same time. So we move on to the bench now, which is I put Kasper Schmeichel. I think that's his name. Yeah, because Peter's his dad. Kasper Schmeichel on the bench because they're playing Everton. I still don't know if they're going to keep a clean sheet. I've only put James Justin in there because he might get an assist for Vardy. I don't think Liverpool will keep a clean sheet, but I still think they'll not Liverpool. I don't think Leicester will keep a clean sheet, but I think they'll score quite a few goals. I have Saint Maximum on my bench. I'm thinking about taking him out. I've left him in there just in case because it kept saying that he's got 75% chance of playing. Then it moved into 25%, then back to 75. Now it's back to 25. So he's kind of confusing me. I might take him out, but it doesn't really say when he's coming back to match fitness. So we move into the other bench warmer. I'm only going to call him that because he is going to stay on my bench for quite some time. Kieran Tierney doesn't look like the same player he was during the lockdown season. He looks kind of poor right now. So I've kept him on my bench. They're playing Southampton on the weekend. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, in my opinion. And Tierney doesn't really offer many things going forward because Aubameyang cannot score headers. I don't know how many times everybody needs to say it. Aubameyang does not score headers. I've never seen him do it in training, and I've never seen him do it in game situations. I mean, there's even a chance when he was playing for Dortmund where he still couldn't header it in the goal, even though he was right in front of the goal. It's an empty goal. Mistimes the header, misplaces the header. It just goes out, and he starts smiling. See, that's funny, but it's the truth. He cannot header. You can tell. Like, he's got a big head, but that doesn't mean anything. Speaking of the devil, we got Aubameyang next. Now, when I told you at the start of this that I put in players, the reason why I've got a little amount of points is because I put in players that I trusted but didn't perform. Aubameyang is definitely one of them. I captained him for around about 4 games, thinking, yep, Aubameyang will score this game. Don't worry, last game was a fluke. It's unlucky, he didn't score. Very, very unlucky. He's going to score now. Yep, we're playing Burnley. He's going to get a hat-trick, 2 goals. Let's captain him. He's playing against Sheffield United. Let's captain him. Going to score 7 goals. He looks even worse. I think it might be my fault. Maybe because I captained him, and I've never captained him in my life before. Maybe because I captained him this season, he's performing bad. Or maybe it's just Arteta's tactics. But he's definitely on my bench. Not really a lot I can say about that. We already know why he's on the bench. So we move. So that's my fantasy team. So far, the Chelsea and Wolves game is going ahead right now. Scoreline still tells me that it is 0-0 at the time of recording, which is around about 6:20. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Stay tuned. Watch out. This Chelsea game will be amazing. Comment your thoughts on this. Me and Professor T are thinking about doing a live watch along to some of the games. It's probably going to be for Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to try and do the BT ones, which is going to be Crystal Palace and Liverpool, or West Brom and Aston Villa. So we're going to try those games to live watch alongs. Just put it in the comment section below what you want us to do. Do you want us to do those games? Do you want us to do other games? Would you like us to not do it? We just want your opinion on it. So that is the Fantasy Premier League team, and that rounds up Tuesday roundups. Said roundups twice. That rounds up Tuesday roundup. Give your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Thank you. Yes, people, thank you for watching or listening to our video. We really appreciate your time. Remember, if you have any questions, answers, or just general comments, just send them to the comment section below. Thank you all. Have a pleasant weekend. I hope all the football goes well this week. Whatever team you support, whether that be League One, League Two, Championship, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Premier Liga, anything, MLS. I hope that all of your results go well, unless you're an Arsenal fan or a Tottenham fan. I hope they all go well, or a Liverpool fan, actually, at that. Have a pleasant weekend, have a pleasant week, have a pleasant day, and goodbye.